Hello, Sweet Tooth here. Hope your day is going well. Hakuna Matata. Welcome back. Let's play some Eternal Darkness. Pick it up on the chapter page. Suspicions of conspiracy.
From my research, it is apparent that the endeavors of mankind are mere puppetry at the hands of the ancients. Whenever a king vows reform, the ancients move quickly to stifle it. Under the auspices of Emperor Charlemagne the Frank, the new Holy Roman Empire was at the height of its power. Hanc mit ad dominum et imperatorum nostrum, Carolum magnum Francum.
Deliver this to our Lord and Emperor Charlemagne the Frank. No one but him must see it. They are words for his eyes only. At once.
Sorcery is this? A spell? I am bewitched. If this was meant for Charlemagne, then what will become of him? I have to warn him of this treachery.
After Anthony briefly describes his mission, the monk informs him that Charlemagne was last seen in audience with the bishop in the visiting chamber. Anthony's presence is questioned by the monks, feeling that he has trespassed upon sacred ground. The monks seem rather subdued, perhaps out of respect, or perhaps out of fear. Muffled voices emanate from inside the bishop's visiting chamber. However, the door is locked and Anthony will need the bishop's key to enter and gain an audience with Charlemagne. Visibly disturbed with grief and despair, the monk sobs pitifully. He recounts that this is not the only death to have occurred recently, and wonders if perhaps the order is being punished for a wavering in faith. I was just trying to figure out which path was like the way to the plot, which one's just to look around. Okay, so let's look around first. The monk cordially greets Anthony, however he brings grave news of the loss of one of his order, who fell from the tower to his death. His tone is guarded, leaving Anthony wondering if indeed this is the truth. The monk informs Anthony that the order is awaiting the arrival of the bishop so that the funeral rites may begin. There is much grieving to do, since this is not the only recent death among the order. A funeral casket made from unfinished wood. It is not properly sealed and could probably be opened.
Oh my God, what is it?
What happened?
is devil's work. We should get out of here.
You have proven what we have feared the most. This poor man has been the victim of great evil. Look how his body has been defiled, as if something has burst out from inside him. Here, take this for your protection. And find the bishop. He must be informed of this horrible discovery.
After that, all the monks just straight up leave. They're like, we're out of here. Peering inside the casket, Anthony sees the body of a monk. His raiment is that of his order, stained with blood that has seeped from many grievous wounds. It is a truly disturbing sight. Yeah, Pius' statue is cut apart. Cradled in what appears to be a leathery hand rising in mysterious form. It is bound in human skin and intricately decorated with shrunken blood. It beckons and yearns to reap his death. Should Anthony claim the opponent of eternal darkness? Each person that picks up the Tome of Eternal Darkness learns what the previous holders of the tome, or the one that began the whole thing, had experienced. And yes, the scroll that he looked at in the beginning is kind of affecting him, affecting Anthony. Mysterious gold medallion rests upon the desk. Circle of Path. And now you can actually do spell crafting. Almost. You gotta get ruins though. Once you do ruins, you can start crafting whatever spells you feel like. While fumbling around, the urn slips from Anthony's stiff fingers, dashing itself into fragments as it hits the floor. Amongst the tomes and manuscripts, a book brings attention to itself. Oddly pristine on the dusty shelf, it doesn't quite belong. The fighting style of yeah, yeah. Where's the spell? Yeah, the thing is, you don't know what any of these runes are until you get something that explains what they are. There we go. Grateful for his life, the monk tells Anthony what happened. He was carrying a sacred urn from the baptismal font when he was confronted by the bishop, who was brandishing a large blade and whose eyes burned with an evil fire. Frightened, the monk dropped the urn out of shock and ran. Returning to retrieve the urn, he found only the sword the bishop had left behind. With thanks, he gives the bishop's sword to Anthony. The monk ambles around nervously, as if half expecting the demonic bishop to return at any moment. I can't remember. Is the sword better than the... I think it's better strong-wise, but I can't remember if it was like hard to swing. This area is dark and it is only difficult to make out any detail, perhaps if Anthony had a light source. Helps you to understand new runes. Alright. Spell number one. So spell number one, you won't know what spell number one is until, of course, you find codexes to explain what it is. Enchanting repairs too, so now you have a magic meter. So there is spells in this game. And don't move while you're casting a spell, otherwise concentration is lost and it'll break. And that means don't be attacked or anything. You can also do this on your weapon. After limited time normally, your item is now enchanted, meaning it does more damage. But does more damage if the alignment of this spell would affect another deity more, meaning the whole rock, paper, scissors thing. Blue is not going to affect green, and green DT is what I'm fighting right now. I would have to have the red ruin to do the most damage. So I'm going to do a little bit more damage, but not a whole lot more, because I'm using the blue one. But it helps. Anthony is getting worse. Disturbing rendition of a monstrous devil. It is contorted into what appears to be a fountain. What sickly liquid is draining into a pool trickling from a scum-encrusted spout? Dunking the urn into the foul-smelling fountain, it becomes filled to the brim with rank fluid. It is a lot heavier now and rife with foiter. And I don't know what foiter is. That makes a... well, I guess it's like a little puzzle. Like it's coming up like a little bit easier. Torch. Let's recast the champ. The weird thing about this puzzle is that how did the bishop get through this puzzle without actually doing what you needed to do? Anyways, an iron plate in the floor is carved with 3 curious circles. Dried splashes have marred its pockmarked and worn surface. The puzzle should be obvious, now that I've done it. Among the books on the table rests on an ancient scroll of what appears to be paper. Enchanted item. Now I know what the spell is. Yep. 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 Oh, it's gonna make me do it, huh? Ah, okay. Okay, you want me to do it. So now you just do the quick key in order, the hotkey in order to do it. Religious texts of an unspeakable nature written in languages utterable only by monsters or corrupt humans. Covered with arcane artifacts and texts, this table reflects the unholy presence within the church. A seething pit of iniquity and evil. The bishop passed through the secret door. There has to be a way to get it up through it. Religious texts of an unspeakable nature. Okay. Just out of curiosity, did I get everything? Yeah. Start moving down. Although the urn appears to sit correctly in place on the pressure plate, it does not appear to be heavy enough to depress it.
Come to return my book. Very well then. For your efforts, I promise a quick and merciful death.
Shrine to a god that bespeaks of an ancient evil that graced the earth before mankind unlocked its valor. Sanity down a little bit. That is a trapper. In other words, sneak around it and don't let it touch you, otherwise it'll transport you to a different realm. You know what, let's just run into it. Show what it's about. So, the goal is get to the end, get out of this trapper dimension. The trapper dimension sprawls in every direction. Whilst in this place magic cannot be cast and humans are subjected to odd phenomena. The portals cycle from color to color to color as time progresses and only the quick will escape. Oh, okay, it's just gonna let me out of here. Just gave me like an introduction to it. But you probably do not want to be in this realm later on. Well, mainly because of the enemies. We're going to encounter one of the enemies and it'll start populating Trapper's Dimension with more of that type of enemy. trappers have no eyes, but can sense sound very well. If Anthony can sneak past them, they won't be trouble. Oh. The trappers. Wait for the enemies to go away. Don't worry, Bishop's dead. There's a lot worse things happening here. That's the type of enemy that causes a lot of problems. You know, I'm just gonna let his sanity be like this. Now, when you, the way that you fight is that you hold the R button and it aims, and you can aim for specific body parts. That's why it highlights. For that being, I can't remember what it is. It's like a lurker. Man. Maybe it told me, I can't remember. But anyways, a hunter. I don't know. Sounds like there's another one nearby. That's your sanity. Aim for the 3 heads. It actually... Every one of those hunters has 3 heads. Let's stay here for a moment. Sanity's gonna mess with me. Also, the description of items, I forgot, changes when your sanity is different. But hunters have 3 heads. If you cut off all 3 heads, the hunter will fall down. Every single one of them. Not sure about the blue one though. Okay, nothing's happening. Let's move on.
You are a fool for trying to save him, Anthony. His fate was decided many centuries ago, as is the fate of this world. Despite your faith, there is little to save you from the power of Zealot.
What that thing is referred to is called a bone thief. It pretty much steals a body. It jumps into a person's body. It can jump into your body if it wanted to. And you'd have to, like, get it out of you. Well, it tries to dig, cut off your head and dig into your body. Or cut open your throat. Something like that. The weird thing about that in cutscene, though, is why did the bone thief, like, reveal itself like that? Usually it only does that when there's, like, a threat nearby and it's gonna attack. Or, like, it loses its host. Anyways, after reading the Eternal Tome of Darkness, Tome of Eternal Darkness, Alex's sanity will naturally go down, no matter what. And her sanity goes down the more and more she reads the tome. Alright, so... Okay. Well, actually didn't show, like, what would lead that character's story to allow Alex to progress further in the plot. I know what to do, though. This is where the game starts getting weird. The key comes apart in a lock. The key to the second floor is broken. Perhaps there is a way of repairing it? A serene painting of a luscious mountain valley, delicately rendered in oils. Time has taken its toll on the surface, which is soiled with dirt and scratches. Alex questions the presence of a lush landscape amidst these other morbid pieces. Could it be a single ray of hope encircled by the encroaching darkness? Possibly. One of the drawers in the dresser curiously has no keyhole. In its place is a small triangular design flanked by a magical symbol. Alright, here's an hallucination that's about to happen, and no matter what your sanity is, you are going to run into it, and it's kind of like a jump scare. It's the bathtub. It's very corny. A page from the journal of Maximilian Roivas. I thought these had a voice to them. Anyways, everything that brightened my life now engulfed me in darkness. I fed on the light of truth, yet starved on the dark shadows of lies. I have learned through my lifetime, but no less than a newborn baby. The wallpaper in this section of the hallway is oddly marred, as though the wall it sits on is not even with the rest of the room. The stained glass depicts a glowing medieval maiden, luminous even with the faint light of the setting sun. The maiden clasps a piece of parchment in her hand. The window gives Alex a strange feeling, almost as if it is magical, and not really there. A glowing field of energy protects the window. The interesting thing about the stained glass is that between all three relics, this stained glass does change to show the deity. And I think kind of like a humanized version. Can't go there. So there's only one place to go. Chapter page has been hastily stashed behind the frame of the painting. The Gift of Forever. Oh. An oddly proportioned painting of a man in somewhat Napoleonic garb. Obviously an intentional exaggeration. It gives the painting an oddly quirky feel. A musty aroma hangs in the air, and a layer of fine dust lies on all surfaces of the room. It seems as if no one has been in here for a long time. It's almost like a museum.
Dreams. Modern psychology offers only unproven theories. Some see them as the meaningless tossing and turning of a brain settling into a restful sleep. Others see them as laden with symbols of our unconscious desires. To still others, dreams represent the upwelling of the archetypes, normally hidden deep within the recesses of the human collective unconscious. Of one thing I am certain. After a brush with the ancients, our dreams metamorphosize into nightmares.
I have implored you for years, yet you ignore all my advances. You dominate my dreams, and I can think of nothing else. I fear I desire you many 100 times more than you love me.
My life has become a waking dream, Karim. For weeks, I have dreamed of an ancient treasure, so precious that it changes all life around it. It must be mine, Karim. If you truly desire me, as you say, then you will find this for me. Bring this treasure to me, and I will be yours. Both of our dreams will come true.
I need nothing more than you. You have enthralled me to the point where I can think of nothing else. Promise, if I leave, you will not forget about me.
You need not worry. I desire nothing more than the treasure that you seek. Leave now, Karim, and I shall await you.
A man's corpse lies fallen. Wounds cover the exposed flesh of his body where his armor has failed. And what does she do as soon as Karim, is on the adventure to do what she wanted? Forgets about him. vaguely resembling a man. Yeah, no, below pedestal. It looks like an urn. It looks like a man. And then if you wanted to, like before you even, even know what this spell does, just mix it with you. See if it does anything. If you wanted to. If you want to just mix and match everything. An arcane shrine dominates the room. Braziers surround its edge, while a larger one tops its summit. No doubt each one would be filled with incense to facilitate prayer to insidious deities. And Kareem is now in the place where Pius was. Let me see, can I carry both? No, he only goes between one or the other. The shrine is risen from the floor, exposing what appears to be a lifting mechanism. Lying in a pool of cold blood is a dead soldier. He is the victim of an unseen battle. Perhaps this man died from the claws of the monsters of this place. It is difficult to tell. A man lies dead, anointed in blood from the ravages of a Tolwar sword. The wounds, deep and numerous, seeped fresh blood. Precise yet powerful, the result of a man's action, not a monster's. Bone thief. That's why I had a sword in its back. It was trying to kill the other two. Another dead man. Who are these men whose corpses litter the dungeon? Unwary soldiers who stumbled inside, or grave robbers looking to plunder it? A crumpled scroll lies under the dead man's curled fingers. Because you can recover magic. Nice game. Anyways, magics or restore magic. We'll make anything. So that one's actually kind of useless. But you have to actually get the other runes that go to the other pieces in order to have further effect. You can stomp on the ground and lightning. That right there. So you gotta get away from Hunter, or whatever they are. Hunters. They're actually horrible. They will hurt you.
times when insanity takes hold, and nothing seems right. During those times, I will help you. Fear not, for I will keep the darkness away.
This isn't really happening.
Kareem just saw that. He saw the future. Remember, that's where Pius went? Now it's blocked off. The edge ceiling has collapsed, creating an impassable pile of rubble that blocks the doorway. A large round dowel broadsword protrudes from a solid pedestal made of stone. It awaits its next owner. It's gonna make this much harder. Damn. Depleted my sanity, so I'm starting to deplete my health. Damn, I'm dead. And that's how easily you can die in this game. You could die just like that. That's why I kept saving. Some things that are simple can become hard. Some things that are hard can become simple.
My dear Alex, this isn't really happening.
Let's think about this. Let's use this. Let's use that before I go in there. Since I know they can get past my sanity. Go for the big one, get the ruin, restore my sanity, then the bone thieves won't do as much. Some breathing room. Itself. Actually, let's do it. Now let's take the new kind of version of the spell and then apply it to each one of the hotkeys that I had assigned before. Improved versions. Much more improved. Come on, man. Do it. There we go. I only got 2 more charges on that talisman, so better not get hurt anymore. Got a lot better shit though. What you do is enchant an item that it showed on the plate, and then you insert it. Along the length of the corridor, the ceiling has given away in slabs, littering the floor with debris. One way I can go and the other one I can't. Hold on. Ruby effigy. That's also the neat thing about enchanting an item. You naturally get that Naturally gives off light and allows you to see in the darkness a little bit. See, green is strong to blue. Green is strong to blue, it was a one-hit kill. That's the importance of enchanting your items. Blasphemous sculpture made from human skin and bone. A trestle of bones is cradled within this shrine, like a nightmarish footstand beckoning to be used. You actually have to give up the Tome of Eternal Darkness. Oh yeah, this is... Never mind. Let's see. 2 full health and everything. Let's enchant these as well.
Enter my
I don't do nothing. By the way, getting a ruby effigy is very, very important for a task for a later character. If you don't have the task, you don't get something special for that character. Shaped like a delicate dome, a pale blue statuette floats gracefully above the pedestal.
Kareem, we will be together forever.
Chandra? What happened to you?
Things change, my dear Kareem. But even though my body is ravaged, I await you.
Who did this to you?
You were gone so long. I gave myself to a nobleman with a jealous mistress. She had me dragged from my bed, and in cruel revenge, flensed with knives. As the last blades were drawn across my body, and my blood pooled upon the floor, she cursed that I would only be with another in death.
So much for thinking only of me. I should never have left.
I have seen my folly, and have already paid dearly. I see so much more now. In death, I know the true value of the artifact which I asked you to find. And it is not for us to possess. If we are to be together again, you must make a sacrifice. Only when that is complete will we be together.
Sacrifice? Why should I do anything for you? You lied to me. Betrayed me. And you really don't look so good anymore.
You must forget the past. Despite who you are now, you will also become something more, just as I have. But the sacrifice must be made. We must remain here and guard the artifact. Dark things will come to claim it, and you must be strong to keep it from them. Without your sacrifice, the world will fall into eternal darkness.
The things I do for love.
And that never made sense to me why he did that. Why would he go through with it? It'd be like, screw it, I'm going home. Alright, so there's something that I should have learned from Kareem that I can use now. And also, isn't it weird that every other character that obtains the Tome of Eternal Darkness immediately knows the rest of the characters, but for Alex, it's like she has to cover the pages, then she learns about them. No, wait, actually, now that I said that, that doesn't make sense. That is not weird, because the pages of the tome are ripped out. She's recovering the pages. Ah, right. That makes sense.
Hello?
Remember me, Alex.
This isn't really happening! Enter a highly cell time.
the pantry contents is a spice jar with a scrap of paper hidden inside. The kitchen is as empty as the library is full, a reflection of her grandfather's attitude. Always learning, reading, studying, rather than eating. A firmly sealed glass spice jar, the faint aroma of Arabian spices is tantalizingly emanating from it. There's a piece of paper inside it. The lurking horror.
My liege, the future is yours. The light in the age of darkness has been extinguished. The pillar of flesh has been constructed. The master of chaos, the keeper of the ancients, is long dead. The planets will be in alignment soon. All is prepared for your arrival. I will begin the final incantation that will bring you into our world within days. The next millennium will truly usher in a new age. Your guardians, now prepare the gate!
After the chapter page is removed, the spice jar is no longer needed. Alex discards it. And I'm gonna cut the video here. It's getting really long. I want to thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment. Hope you have yourself a good day, and this is Sweet Tooth signing off. Love you.